first off, we got to talk about the name a little bit.
Yep.
The way it's spelled, I feel like you had to call it the Elyte, right? Elyte
That's
Callaway.
what we call it.
I feel like they dropped the ball there a little bit. We were having fun with our rep. We kept saying Elyte, and he was like, okay, stop.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go over the new Elyte Epic to the power of 2 Callaway driver lineup for 2025.
Yep. Just continuing on with the new products this year. This is Callaway's new release for 2025. First impressions, I mean, tell us a little bit about what you see here, the technology.
Yeah, so the triple
anything different from the AI smoke?
Yeah, so the crowns are they kind of made up their own word. It's thermo forged carbon on top.
Oh my god! Wow!
And then the AI face got AIer. So now it's 10 times more AI for 10 times the smart spots on the face.
So when the Paradigm came out, we were at 33%, right? Like they 30%,
yeah.
30%, something around there, AI. Mm-hmm. So now we're 10 times that?
I guess so. That's 333.
Math.
I need to know how Skynet gets built. Who's responsible?
Callaway has definitely always been on the forefront of throwing the word AI out there. I mean, they don't hide from it as far as what they're using to enhance their R&D process. I will say they have put a lot of marketing out. They haven't said how long they've been working on this. I know sometimes companies like to say when they come out with a driver,
to get us to this point, it's like, well, you just released a driver 9 months ago, so that's a lie.
Yeah, but I mean, the biggest thing is with Callaway, we have 3 different models in the Elyte family.
With an asterisk, a major asterisk.
We're not talking about the tour only stuff that we should still have access to get, but we have the triple diamond, then we have the core head, and then we have the Elyte X.
Yep. And then there's the bonded version, which is the Max Fast.
Yeah, the Max Fast. So sorry, 4. Now that's their ultra lightweight, correct?
Yeah, it's a Max Fast is supposed to be like a competitor for like Zexio.
Okay.
So kind of that
has the Elyte Shaft. Yeah, did I say that right?
sounded good enough to me.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is the Elyte X. That's their, I would say, their most draw bias, highest launching, highest MOI driver. Now, the one thing about Callaway, they don't claim 10K forgiveness or anything. They're very specific, kind of with this new face of theirs that pretty much wherever you hit it off the face.
It's going to promote the highest amount of efficiency possible.
Correct. Now, and then you move into the core model. So the biggest thing is the core model still has the adjustable weight, and which that's kind of what I like about the Elyte X and the core model is they still have that adjustability.
Yeah,
aspect.
I like that aspect better than
I like how they got rid of the slider.
Yep.
Which I mean that's a little bit of a trend this year in drivers is companies getting rid of the sliders, right?
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of been an ebb and flow because when Epic first brought out the dual weight, right? Something that's also a little bit different is all the heads are matte finish, with the exception of one.
The triple diamond.
Yeah, triple diamond, which is the more tour-inspired look, has the gloss finish all the way around.
Supposedly, the matte finish was a big drawback. That's what the tour guys were recommending.
Going to the polished?
No, going to the matte. I mean, you have Eric Van Ruin, Akshay, who are playing the core heads, which they just said sometimes this just playing in different environments, glare, things like that. Mm-hmm. Just the matte finish just keeps things clean, simple, compared to the fully gloss finish. Now, let's talk a little bit about the triple diamond. I would say the triple diamond has kind of carried Callaway's brand and drivers the past
especially
5
in the
years.
ball speed category.
I mean, the biggest thing about the triple diamond is it's a lot smaller of a profile. I don't know how much to be exact off the top of my head, but a little more traditional rounded shape. Now, the biggest difference is overall face shape. You can see a much deeper, what I like about this compared to the AI Smoke and the Paradigm, and it was kind of similar to the TaylorMade, the entire face like stretches across the driver.
Yep.
Right? The biggest thing you look at, you feel like you're never going to miss the sweet spot. Now, we know about this driver. It's not the most forgiving.
No.
But, I mean, at least it's for a smaller club, it's very, for me, this is the driver I play. It's just a little bit confidence inspiring that if I do hit it way over here on this toe spot, it looks like there's a lot of club face over there.
Well, and I think, too, being able to loft up this year, there's more loft offerings in Triple Diamond because we're starting to see, I mean, John Rahm's played 10.5 now, I guess 4 seasons with these TD heads. So getting a little bit higher launch with that low spin rate, that's you really optimizing that carry.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit of I'm a little bit behind everybody else. I still need an 8-degree head. I add loft, so that makes sense. My dynamic loft's always on the higher side when it comes to driver. But yeah, you definitely see that trend now. Of, going back to what was that, the late like around 2015 to 2017, where everything was about high loft, high launch, no spin.
Yep.
Because that's the biggest thing, and we'll see here when we look at the data. This Triple Diamond definitely does not like to spin. Now, their whole point, they came out with a new model within the AI Smoke halfway, 3/4 of the way through the life cycle that was only available for a week, which was the Triple Diamond Max, which that's always been known as a tour head. The Triple Diamond Max essentially was supposed to give you the Triple Diamond benefits as far as shape, ball speed, but give you the forgiveness of the core head with the perimeter weighting. Now, the marketing says that the current Triple Diamond is supposed to have that Max technology. So this isn't supposed to be a knuckleball machine.
And what did we learn a couple days ago?
That is not the case.
Yep.
So
they just released the Triple Diamond Max Star and then Max Diamond.
Yeah.
So then I have 2 heads on tour only.
Yeah.
So it's like I guess that's where they're so successful, but sometimes they kind of put their shoe in their mouth a little bit because we get told that these 3 heads are the most optimal performance you can get, yet their tour staff plays 7 different models that are tour only.
And I mean, that's the biggest thing. It's these companies are not afraid to have tour only models. Now, I will say Xander has the regular Triple Diamond. A couple guys do have the core head. So you could technically get the same head in a fitting with us that some of the tour guys are playing. And, like we said, there's a good possibility we'll have options for those tour only heads that, if we get them in hand, we'll have to do another video about.
Yeah.
But overall, before we look at the data, I mean, we did this a little bit in our teaser video. Now that we have them all laid out here, what would you say about the look?
I still really like the look of the core head the best, just because that matte finish. I like having the chevron on top, just to, even if you don't need it for alignment, it's just going to elude a little bit more confidence. Because I think that's the only drawback to some players with Triple Diamond. There's no alignment on top.
Yeah.
Obviously, better players use face angle anyway, but I think with the Triple Diamond, even if they didn't want to put a chevron, like put just like a small dot or something there.
Yeah.
But I definitely like the matte finish. I mean, compared to AI Smoke, the colorway, obviously, like I kind of joked about it, kind of resembles Epic.
Yeah, I say we've been pretty harsh on the colorway.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to a driver that's almost 10 years old, but that driver is what it took Callaway from 3rd and 4th.
Because the Rogue was not good.
Yeah, it took them from like 3rd or 4th in national drivers to the number 1 driver that year was the Epic. So I think they're trying to pay a little bit of a homage to Epic with this, but I just wish it looked a little bit more premium for the price tag.
Yeah, I mean, I think the core heads kind of, if you look at all 3 of these heads from address, right, how they are now, I think they all look great. I did 2 fittings yesterday. Both guys picked up. I mean, one guy came in with freakish ball speeds. He was in the mid 180s or high 170s, low 180s. And he hit the core head and never spun it around above 2,400 RPMs. And we actually went with the core head to get that side spin a little bit more one-way biased. Compared to most people, those speeds, you think they would just need the Triple Diamond to help with spin.
Yep.
So I had 2 fittings yesterday that, I mean, between the consistency and spin as well as ball speed, both of these models for that player kind of showed up.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really cool that Callaway did is they made an agreement with a shaft company that we've got kind of right out in front here.
Kind of first company to truly Well, the biggest thing, first company to truly, like every company offers aftermarket shafts, but
Correct.
first company to kind of take one and give somebody an offering that you can't get elsewhere.
Yep.
So, I mean, tell us a little bit about this shaft.
So
I mean, because I think this is honestly a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, so we have a Aretera account, so we obviously fit their shafts in general, but you know, it's a very premium shaft. I mean, you're looking 350, 450, depending on which model you're looking for. So the guy that started the company used to work for Fuji and created something called the Ventus.
The Velocore.
Yep. So it's pretty cool that, you know, he left, started his own company. That way he could control his own tooling, what materials are being used in the shaft. And then obviously they've been exclusive with a certain dealer for about a year now.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be able to expose how good their shafts are.
Yeah.
Because the upcharge on it's what?
$100.
Yep.
Yeah, so
$350
Yeah, I say
shaft.
the shafts. If you buy a shaft only, it's a $350 shaft. So no, you cannot order the shaft only through Callaway for $100. You do have to purchase it with a driver head. So
And it's the real version. It's not a proprietary
correct.
shaft.
Yeah, so it has the control center. I mean, that's the biggest thing is when you look at the shaft just looks. I mean, I like the matte gray finish that goes into. You can actually see the carbon weave in the bottom, which like has always been popular in like the 10C series, things like that. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's worth trying. Like I did at my fitting, we found a shaft that worked really good, and I was like, hey, well, let's try this. And you know, it didn't work for that player, but I mean, to get your hands on a shaft to where, you know, only usually if you buy a shaft of this caliber, the driver's going to start at $950, right? So now, you know, for the core head, $699, you know, $759 for the triple diamond. I mean, we're talking about a lot of money here. We're not discounting that.
Yep.
But
well, compared to some of the invoices we see with these build outs, you're talking 13. I mean, through us it's $950, but through other facilities, $1,300-$1,400.
Yeah, it's just cool. Cool offering. I mean, I would say that's definitely been a highlight of what Callaway has done right with this launch is just adding something new.
Well,
I think you'll see other companies follow.
Well, I think the big thing is Callaway listens to fitters. That's the one thing that
they have their big fitting protocol.
Yeah, so when we go to those training events, I would say out of any company, for the most part, Callaway does it right, and they actually take feedback from fitters and people that are fitting every single day. They're not taking feedback from, you know, not to make fun of anybody, but somebody that posts a video and plays golf once a month. Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. So, yeah, I hit this a few times. Let's look at the data. I used the Aretera shaft. I will say this is the 65.6 Aretera Blue. So it's more of a mid-launch shaft. This is the Tour Stiff. So this is actually, I will say the 6, which is the Tour Stiff. You would have to order through us. I think they only offer the 4 and 5 from Callaway. I could be wrong, but so starting with the Elyte X head, their highest launching spinnier driver. I would say this is a first between this draw bias head, between the ping that I hit and the TaylorMade. We got the spin rate under 3,000 RPMs. Now, I think, you know, I had one there that came off really good, but average 157 ball speed with like 110 club. So efficiency wasn't great, but 2,900 spin, 13.7 launch, average 10 yards left dispersion. I mean, 265 carry with the 9-degree super draw bias driver.
Not too bad.
Never going to hurt. Now, obviously, I will say this has been the biggest surprise. Is I think this is where we've seen the biggest discrepancy of ball speed differences from head to head. But bumping up to the Elyte core head, you know, ball speed jumped into the 162, 163 zone. Dropped a little bit of spin. Launch was right about the same. And you can see, you know, there's a 13-yard carry difference just immediately with dropping that spin down. And then we get into the driver that I play, which is the triple diamond. I mean, this is pretty much what I have seen for the last 3 years since we moved into these Paradigms AI smoke frames, and the triple diamonds. Ball speed jumped up close to 165, spin all the way down to 2,100. Descent angle still around 40 degrees, so it's not like I'm just hitting, piss missiles. Yeah. And carry jumps all the way up to 296. So, I mean, this is the biggest thing. And,
This is why you have to hit them and actually get fit, because you did this with the same shaft.
I did this with the same shaft, and I'll be honest, this shaft, it's not for me. A shaft that bends in the midsection, this is not for me with how left I swing, and I do not. I will say I do not have a great delivery of the driver, but I mean. But yes, you're exactly right. This is why you have to get fit, because
there's a 30-yard carry differential if you were to round it off between the draw bias head and the triple diamond.
Yeah.
And for some players, it's going to be the opposite.
Correct.
So.
Yesterday in the fittings, I saw an opposite, right? Triple diamond wasn't going anywhere because it was knuckling, and then you put a different shaft. And then this is the biggest thing is I like to kind of keep it dry and simple, but in a fitting, we'll always say, the same shaft, if a shaft works on one head doesn't mean it's going to work in another.
Correct.
But other than that, I think the strike locations were great. I think that's just a head shape I'm used to. Anything else you see in here?
No, it's a solid driver. It's
performing well in the back.
I was going to say, not to make Callaway sound boring, but they just make drivers really well, and I think you've seen that kind of the last 4 years with them.
Yeah. So pretty typical here. This is a good point. So the red was the X, the Elyte X. The yellow was the core head. So you can see with the core heads, I actually turned the ball over. I squared up the face better. Then we look at my the triple diamond. I went back to playing that straighter ball flight, maybe even slightly cut. And that's just the triple diamond being fade bias. But,
not too bad across the board.
I'm not going to complain about, 7:45 in the morning, getting 164, 160 ball speed. So, and then that's with the Elyte X, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Elyte X. So hitting it low on the face, low on the toe, and for that ball still to fly pretty straight, and then only have a 4-degree spin axis. That's pretty good. And then this is the core head. Yep. Pretty much peppered the center. And then we have the triple diamond. That's where I live.
Toe cuts.
Slappy
toe.
Make sure that ball does not go left. But yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more testing with the triple diamond. See if I can dial it in a little bit. I've been playing I put a victory force in it. No, I'm not trying to copy Tiger. But
hit it really well.
But all in all, I'm pretty happy with it so far. So, but I think we should leave it at that. Rolling a show and tell.
Yep.
Callaway Elyte.
With the possibility of the Elyte mini driver coming. Just no.
You don't like it?
Waste of time.
You don't like it?
No. He was finally asked last week from the tour to.
Okay. So it says Jason Day's fit at Torrey Pines. This is what he wore on Sunday. I wanted to buy this sweater. I think this sweater looks awesome. I think now the price tag is not awesome, but I thought I'll tell you what, Jason Day is. I'd started out being against Malbon. I'm kind of with it. The sweatsuit during the practice round on Tuesday, that was elite. I think this looks awesome.
I don't know. I've been fortunate. I used to work for TaylorMade, so I was fortunate enough to work with Jason a little bit, and seeing him in Adidas was kind of like, obviously being a 7-year employee, that's what I was used to. So seeing him in a tour visor with his hair sticking up like that, he just looks goofy.
Yeah.
You can get away with the sweater. That looks.
You're not the visor guy. You don't
not
like Jason
him.
Day? Yeah.
I can't say that on podcast.
I think so. What you're talking about, and I don't know if you know this, Miles, but on Saturday, no, I keep thinking they ended on Sunday. The last round was on Saturday. So on Friday, he wore a windbreaker with Malbon across the back, and the PGA Tour made him tape it over. Now, obviously, a friend within the industry that owns a clothing company made a comment and said that supposedly the tour has a policy, any sponsorship logos have to be 4x4, so they can't be larger than 4x4 inches. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then why does Victor Hovland and everybody get to wear the Jay Lindbergh thing across. Or there's the worst apparel brand in the entire industry, which is PGA Tour apparel that some of these guys wear that have
The
crap.
giant, they look like a NASCAR driver.
I think we're starting to see to where Malbon's pushing the boundaries and seeing how far they can take it. Is the PGA Tour going to only go after them? I think it's like, dude, are we really going to start going after guys' clothes? I get why Augusta told Jason to take his sweater off because it said champion on it. It's like, well, you're at Augusta, but yeah, I don't know. I think his wardrobe has gotten progressively better.
I mean, I like the shoes. Love those shoes, but he's got to ditch the tour visor. He looks a little sus, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. First hole for tonight's match. Well, last night's match looks insane. That's the lava hole. This is the first time they debuted the lava hole, right? So I literally turned on the coverage after this hole. I was cooking because I will say they got to figure out a way to start it at the same time. Bouncing around between 7:30, 6:30 last night. Now that it's on a Monday because they all have to fly out to Pebble to play
on their private jets.
Yeah, so this was week 4. All in all, I know you haven't watched a whole lot of it.
Nope.
Last night what I would say would be the saving grace for TGL. Finally we had a close match and went to overtime. You could tell the players still don't trust the technology. I mean, Tiger was missing greens left and right. Kevin Kisner finally played well.
There was a post that says when Kiz pulls in the parking lot, he leaves his talent there too.
Yeah. No, Kiz balled out last night. He got 167 ball speed. So,
yeah.
Which Kiz made a joke on this lava hole because he says if he hit it in the hazard, he was leaving and retiring from TGL or in the water. Yeah, yeah, that's right. All in all, I think the holes are actually cool. For those of you that don't know, they had to create their own holes to make the system work. So they're supposed to be goofy. They're supposed to be. I will say they got to do a better job. It seems.
I mean, Tiger has his own video game.
You're a video game. You're like Kyle. Like you play a lot of video games. Like when you watch the TGL, it's just the quality just seems like it's like 10 years old.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit with the actual picture and things like that.
That's like I said, Tiger has his had his own game series, and now he has 2K. And 2K graphics,
which they're coming back out,
are 10 times better than what we've been seeing out of this.
Yeah.
My Golf Spy, and I know people can take them with a grain of salt sometimes, but
they're paid by people to say things.
But the point that they made about what's going on is so true. He's like, when you've got this technology company, they spent $350 million on this stadium, and the one piece of technology that you're relying on is now we're 3 weeks in and still having these issues.
4 now.
Well, 4, yeah. And it's not like Full Swing can't fix it. Obviously, we have a lot of experience, or especially me with the...
I think they're scared of making changes so soon.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's a new product. Like, you're going to have hiccups.
Yeah.
But when you've got the entire world watching with the best player to ever play the game and all this stuff, like... It can only be so off for so many weeks before, okay, can we actually trust that brand anymore?
I wouldn't mind with them having that rotating green and stuff. It seems like the matches get, like the moment they go to the green, the matches get awesome, right? So, like, I wouldn't mind the golf courses being, like they're playing 15 holes, maybe make 9 of them par 3s or like 4 drivable par 4s because you're creating your own hole. Like, promote crazy things to happen, because finally last night we had a chance to where Tom Kim hit a par 3 and it almost went in. Like, we haven't come close to a player making an ace or making a shot in general on the actual simulator part. So trust me, I'm like I said, this is usually stuff I'd hate on. I haven't minded it. I mean, 6:30 on a weekday night.
There's a couple cool driving holes.
Yeah, but also it's like the ball just rolling out 50 yards or the ball stopping. Like there was like a 3-wood that like backed up last night. Like they have to make the firmer. I think they have to promote more variety and scoring ability. But we can go on about this in days.
You know what I think
Some
Tiger
of us
should have
have to
done?
we have to go to work.
Yeah. I think Tiger should bring back Big Break. That would be worth watching.
It'll be the smartest thing Golf Channel will do because Golf Channel's coverage right now is freaking terrible.
Yeah.
You want to talk? I feel Arnie created that brand, and they got to do something to revive
save
Golf
it.
Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to do something.
Well, that's Elyte. That's show and tell. And we will catch you next week for the next episode. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you soon.
Peace.